Dear friends, I'm glad to welcome everyone on the coast of the Adriatic Sea. Today, our guest is a trader, investor, and experienced blogger, one of the most extraordinary and interesting personalities on the financial markets. Gleb, hello.
Hi.
And I would like to ask him a few questions. A few questions will also be addressed to me. Let's get started.
Yes, let's do this. By the way, while I was going to visit you here in Montenegro, I asked my subscribers, among other things, to send questions they would like to ask AMarkets. And I think you'll like one in particular. This is not even a question. It's a poem written by one of my subscribers. Who is this broker? What's the deal? Who's the lucky one to win? Gleb, please tell us what's the catch? And how can we earn some cash? Advise us strategies and bots to skip despair, risks, and loss. We want to learn all Forex tricks. AMarkets will make us all the kings.
Haha, that's for sure.
And you know, probably. Let's start with me asking you a question about, well, many people have this question in one way or another. Why and how does AMarkets bring traders to Montenegro? Well, why do you do this? Or is it just hype for AMarkets? Often people ask, do you pay traders or is it free? Well, how do you do this? Why are you doing this? Why do you need this?
First of all, for publicity and exposure of the company. It's really important to understand that the company shows employees ready to show the office where we work. All of this is for the end user, for a client, for an investor, for a partner, for potential customers and partners. We want to show that people of flesh and blood really work here. Moreover, we want to show our principles of work and what work principles our partners have. This is publicity, transparency in doing business. And probably these are the main two goals we pursue when we invite our partners, traders, famous people to us, to our house, to Montenegro, and just to chat with them on camera.
And Montenegro for AMarkets, as I understand it, has become home?
Yeah, we have one of our offices here. It's located in the city of Podgorica. This is the capital of Montenegro. The country, in fact, was chosen, well, for several reasons. A very convenient transport location, a loyal state for visitors. Well, also take into account it's a luxury resort. This place is located on the coast of Budva. This Budva Riviera is one of the most beautiful places on the Adriatic coast. Why not? After work, it takes an hour, and you are by the sea with a beautiful view.
Yes, of course. It's really superb. There is no such sea in Moscow.
Well then, I'll ask you a few questions. Gleb, each interviewer should eventually have a signature question. For me, this question consists of only two words. Why AMarkets?
Why AMarkets? Good question. In fact, we discussed this topic yesterday, and due to the fact that there are a lot of scams on financial markets, there's a very small number of companies that can really be trusted. So in the light of the latest events in the financial markets, many companies simply closed, right? Some of them left the Russian market. And the partners with whom you can really work and whom you can trust, there are not many of them. I've been following the AMarkets history for a long time as a person from this industry, and I understand that I am impressed by the company's operation. I am impressed by the product the company provides. I see that it's done honestly. I see that it's done with transparency, and in particular, my visit to Montenegro confirmed this. So I noticed that you are ready to work honestly, openly, transparently. And it means a lot right now.
As soon as a trader or a viewer finds your channel, he sees a large banner. Forex channel number 1. Do you really stand as the person who, well, has the greatest influence on YouTube, talking about financial markets?
Well, the influence is probably difficult to measure. The question is quite subjective. But we posted this banner for a simple reason. When it comes to the number of subscribers and views on my channel, there is really no other such channel at all. I mean of the channels that broadcast only about the Forex markets.
Are all your subscribers targeted, by the way?
Undoubtedly, yes. I mean, well, what's the point for a person who does not trade in Forex or is not interested in this topic? Why should he subscribe to the channel with regular weekly video forecasts about major currency pairs where there are useful videos for novice traders? We even recorded several free video courses that people can watch just on my channel in the playlist.
I found the information about the pets that live in your home. They are the pit bull named Marcel and the cat Bucks. As I see, you gave your cat a name like that for luck?
Of course. Well, you are constantly calling for Bucks at your home, right? I say, "Hey, Bucks!" And in fact, Bucks comes to me. This is magic. It works a little.
I know that you now have a new project you are working on. This is your project with a taxi depot. It feels like it's kind of crowdfunding, right? Please tell us in detail.
Well, first of all, in the taxi business, I'm just a partner who is engaged in raising the funds for this business. And in fact, I don't have any plans to limit this to one project. But I do have a plan to create at first a club of investors who could chip in to invest into various investment projects. Because so many private investors have a limited sum they want to invest, right? So a person has 100,000 rubles, a million rubles, 500,000 rubles, and he can't invest into any huge projects. We as groups of investors can invest into huge projects, interesting projects that are unavailable to physical entities for ordinary participants. This is the first nuance. So, to create such a club of investors and consequently the platform that will invest money into various business niches. So, it is very important for us that the business that we chose for investment, that first of all is understandable, that it's transparent, that it's profitable, and that it actually brings passive income to our investors. And in fact, we've almost completely tested this entire scheme on the taxi project, and we are ready to engage in raising money for other businesses. I also see a good perspective for this direction. Most importantly, I know that many people are interested. Mostly people who have small amounts to invest in a few projects.
How do you prepare for recording a new video? Are there any rituals? How do you choose the topics?
This is actually my biggest headache every time. Because on my channel, there are already several thousand videos, in fact. Sometimes it seems like we have already covered absolutely all related topics. And very often, when a new idea appears in our heads that we want to cover, we recall that there is a video already recorded about 6 months ago or a year ago. I don't want to repeat myself, so in fact we may exclude many topics. Well, new video topics, to be honest, are mostly given by subscribers. Because many people write to me on my social media pages, ask questions by email. They ask for advice on topics they are interested in. And I often find inspiration in topics in these questions.
What do you think? What topic is now attracting, well, the most attention of your audience? What is now the most trending request about the financial markets?
I don't want to specify certain topics now, well, that make people interested. So if we talked about, had this interview about 2 years ago, then it's obvious that everyone was aware of Bitcoin and hype around cryptos. Now there is not so much noise about it. Nowadays, many people are very interested in the stock market. You see, this is a trend now because my subscribers basically are mostly the Russian-speaking audience. Recently in Russia, many new investors have come to the Russian stock market. Consequently, this is also very interesting for people. Well, and of course, the most important question, the request that people have is how to make money. Because everyone perfectly understands that there is a financial market. All understand that asset prices are shifting. Charts are going somewhere, up and down. Well, how to make money? What exactly needs to be done? Unfortunately, such information is really difficult to find. And in particular, people go to YouTube. Sometimes I regret a lot that the time when I started my journey as a trader in the financial markets, I didn't have the opportunities that people have right now. When I started, it was 2005. There wasn't YouTube. Even the internet wasn't good enough, to be honest. I mean, back in the days when we used those modems that blocked, the phone lines. They made scary sounds. They did. The internet was extremely slow and there was no way to learn online or watch any webinars, videos, and so on. Right now, there are a lot of opportunities to learn how to trade, make money just by browsing online, including public materials on the financial markets, that are posted online. And consequently, they can learn, repeat, ask questions, gain experience, and achieve their goals. So the overall task is simple. Any person needs financial markets in order to make money. This is the main request. It's always been, is, and probably always will be.
We visited our office yesterday, and you have finally met in flesh our leading analyst, our fundamentalist, Artyom Deyev. Artyom has, a kind of hobby. He collects ties. In every video, you wear a new tie. What is your collection of ties?
Oh, listen, I don't know. I have several dozens of these ties.
Do you have a favorite one?
Yes, I have favorite ties. First of all, I love ties that are not very wide, the medium-sized, so to speak. And I like plain ties. Well, and there are some navy, black, and there are blue ties, and so on. So I have one favorite tie type that I occasionally purchased several times at the same store. So it is a regular tie collection for sale. But in fact, the older I get, the fewer times I wear ties, and the more times I stick to some sort of casual, to work without ties. So this office style, it kicks for a while. Then you begin to understand that there is a loose shirt, or even a t-shirt, and I often wear t-shirts in the office. But for now, we are shooting videos in a shirt and tie, because I still can't overcome the inner barrier. To shoot the videos in the more casual clothes. Well, right now, probably. I have the first interview in casual, yes.
But in Montenegro, in fact, it will be rather hot. It's the hot season in Montenegro now. So, by the way, here comes the next question. What were your first thoughts about this country? Well, what was the first impression?
Well, it's actually very good. This combination is very cool of a fantastically beautiful sea. You really look at the water, and it differs in colors and layers, yes. So it differs, like it's blue, dark, mountains and this wonderful architecture of ancient cities, specifically Budva. We are at the observation deck right now. The view, of course, is simply fantastic. So it is the first thing here that I definitely like. I have not tried the sea, although I have been here in Montenegro 2 days. I think today, possibly, we will have the opportunity to get our legs wet a little. And only then I'll be persuaded for sure that Montenegro is a resort. The local cuisine is very tasty, of course. The portions are so huge you can actually order one portion for 2 people. Well, a very good impression. But in some places, frankly, it reminds me of Sochi. I think the only thing is, it seems to be cheaper here than in Sochi. Everything is too expensive in our cities.
Vacation on your own or a vacation with family? And what about the extreme sports? By the way, Montenegro has many options for the fans of kite surfing, for the fans of paragliding, for diving. Maybe you'd like to try something like this here.
Well, I'm afraid that we will not be able to do too much due to lack of time. As for vacation, definitely with my family, because you need to share these emotions that you get from new places, from a journey, from a new experience. It is very important to share with your friends and relatives. This is the first moment. One thing, unfortunately, about the extreme sports. In fact, a lot of traders I've noticed, maybe you have also the same observation. I usually say to novice traders that you think that trading is something exciting, something mega interesting. In fact, this is one of the most boring professions on the planet. And very often, many traders in their free time choose some kind of extreme hobby, some kind of extreme sport, and so on. But unfortunately, my family does not really share such things. They prefer a calm beach holiday, you see, and so on. But I think that if we have the opportunity, then of course we will try something interesting here.
As a real spy agent, I watched a lot of your videos, and in one of them, I found information that there was a person in your client portfolio who earned 160 million rubles on the financial markets.
Yes, it's true.
Can you tell us something more about him? About the market he chose? Direction? How did you participate? Did you help? Or did he receive your training?
It is really such a unique story. This client is still number one when it comes to gain profits and in a very short period of time. The 260 million that he earned is actually the profit from what was earned in 2 months. You have to understand, of course, the amount of deposit originally was also quite large. It was an account for $3 million. About the same amount. Exchange rates were changing, but somewhere around 150 million rubles. An initial deposit and 160 million rubles were earned in 2 months. This person was trading the dollar-ruble currency pair. It was the period of 2014 and 2015 when there were hard times in Moscow Stock Exchange for the dollar-ruble currency pair. And he was one of those people who just wanted to, in fact, make money on this. And then we started to get a huge number of requests from people who came from business, mainly who understood that it was becoming more and more difficult to make money in business, and they looked for opportunities to monetize some of their investment ideas in the financial markets. He was one such person, not a public person, let's say. I can't name him. Yes, he's a rich person. I won't be surprised if we see him in the following years in the Russian Forbes list. His major business is connected to real estate. And when it came to me, I asked him a question. How did he get to me at all? Initially, I didn't even know what the deposit size was or what kind of person he was. So a person just came to get individual training. He was like our other students. In our regular way, we started our training, then we chatted. And I like to ask people how they found me, why they found me, what brought them to me. I said, Vladimir, how did you come across my training course? And he says, I just made an account, started trading. In a week, I lost $1 million and realized that probably I had to go somewhere to learn. So just imagine a person opened a deposit for $3 million just to see what he could do without any previous training, without trying somehow to dive into this topic and so on. He came to my training course and, in fact, we started to work, to study. He took the usual standard course of individual training. And the most annoying thing in this story, when he first came to me, he said, Gleb, can we work in such a way, instead of a fixed price that you ask for the course on the site, I will pay for the training with a percentage of the profit I make. Well, I haven't accepted this offer, right? Because everyone has different deposits, different income opportunities, and so on. That's why we have certain prices for individual training. I refused him during that lesson, right? And he says, okay, fine. And when I heard from his partner, I met with his partner, who also came to my training course. I asked, well, how's Vladimir doing? He said, Vladimir's awesome. He earned $160 million in 2 months. I had one thought. Oh my God.
You see, this information was just told by someone. Have you checked this on your own?
Well, the thing is, this person is not public. I say this once again, and like any Russian businessman engaged in serious business, catching him in Moscow, in person, and talking to him is quite difficult. Now, he constantly moves around the world, constantly on the road, somewhere at meetings and so on. But I chatted very closely with his partner who, let's say, knows for sure about his real life. That's why the information is absolutely reliable.
Gleb, how much time per day do you devote to work? Besides trading, besides writing a blog, you are also involved in the project Analytics Online. How much can Gleb Zadoya work without a break?
Sometimes I catch myself thinking that I probably took too many projects at the same time, and somehow I need to cut them off. At least, well, let's put it this way. I put a moratorium on taking more work and additional projects, so I'm only working on projects that I've already taken. I don't take anything new so far. As for the work, well, I have a pretty much standard schedule. This means waking up at 6 a.m., well, almost every day. I get up early enough and start working early as well. So, as for the end of my working day, it's usually 7 to 8 p.m., you see? The standard times for any other working day. Because there is still a family, there are children who need attention too. With such borders, I'm trying to limit my working hours. Well, usually my working schedule is very tight, at least on business days. I devote a lot of time to work. Well, on the weekend, I try to completely disconnect from any messages, disconnect from tasks, and so on. That is why I believe it's necessary to separate. There are work tasks, right? There are tasks that are personal, family, and so on.
Trading or investing? What do you choose?
You need to understand that I've been trading since 2005. You see, there are too many years. For a trader, it's a whole career, right? And for any trader, anyway, it's only a matter of time. So someone starts with scalping. Someone starts with intraday. Someone starts with medium-term trading. But one way or another, every trader comes to the next step, that is an investment. So if you take a look, you'll see a lot of public traders. Well, the people with public careers. You will notice that all of them turn to investments. So someone collects a portfolio of shares. Someone starts buying real estate objects, and so on. And that period is long gone when it was interesting for me to sit from morning until evening and click on the buy-sell buttons, to open some orders, analyze charts, and so on. I try to pay attention to the market, direct trading, 1, maybe 2 hours a day, and that's why at the moment I definitely choose investments. Because I understand it's the future and it provides a more passive source to earn a lot of money.
So, in your opinion, trading is like an initial stage, well, a sort of the preparation for huge investments?
Yes, right. Trading is the way for a person to rather quickly earn. And people should probably draw the right conclusions from what I say, you see? Quickly, it doesn't mean you will become a millionaire overnight, become a rich man. but this is an opportunity to make quite a quick start. And I earned my first serious money in the Forex market. After earning money in the Forex market, I began to invest money in the stock market. After earning money in the stock market and still making money in the Forex market, I began to invest in various businesses too, you see. I started investing in real estate, and up to this day, I continue these things at the same time. So I continue to invest in business. I continue to invest in real estate, despite the fact that people often ask me the question, Gleb, why do you need real estate that brings 7 to 10, maybe 12% per year if you can get the same profitability in Forex for a month? Yes, I can do this for a month, but it will be a bit different amount of work that requires more immersion into the process. It will stop being a passive income and so on. So that's why I chose, once again, the opportunity to invest the money I earn in Forex. Well, for people who probably don't have such a big deposit, and for people who are interested maybe in speculation, the Forex market or the stock market is a great place to start. So I don't know how to say it right. Pump up your deposit or something, increase your deposit, and so on.
Gleb, can you give the tips from a professional to new traders and investors?
The first advice is probably to slightly decrease your expectations, because too often people come and think that trading in financial markets in general are a chest with an insanely huge amount of money, and this chest has no bottom, and you can come anytime and pick up as much money as you want. So you need to understand that after all, probably, trading and the money earned with trading is, well, it may seem like easy money, as quick money, but in most cases it is very long money, and often even painful money. So the first thing is to lower expectations. The second is you ought to study any business. In my own experience, I was on the path of independent trading for 3 years when I absolutely did not earn anything. I received a lot of diverse information. I got a lot of diverse experiences, but in the end, I didn't earn anything because I just did the wrong things. And later, my 2 mentors pushed me to the right actions. They told me, Gleb, you know a lot, but you have to understand clearly. This is what you know, but this is what you have as a result, and your knowledge did not lead to any income. You need to throw away everything that you know and learn again. So I sat down next to them. I watched them trading. I asked them questions. I tried to copy something, to repeat something. In this format of working with a trader, when it is based on mentoring, it gives, in my opinion and according to my experience, it gives the very best results. That's why you should not think that a novice trader will enter the market and immediately start earning money, as advertising sometimes promises, you see? You need to learn this and gain experience, study, filter information, get it at the maximum. But filter, try everything in practice. Look for your trading methods, and then everything will work out for you. Very often, I see the situation that a person tried trading sideways, relatively speaking. He didn't succeed. He tried trading in a different way. He didn't succeed. He tried the 3rd time somehow, and he also failed. And he says, well, it's probably not my thing, or it's impossible to make money in financial markets. But he was literally 1 step away from a successful method, right? That could really bring him results. So don't give up. The one who is faithful to his goal, the one who goes to his goal, he will certainly achieve results. It's 100% in any business.
What does it mean for you to be a successful person? Tell me, how do you see this formula of a successful person?
Good question. I can tell you exactly what it means to be a successful trader, right? I can answer in a simple and short way. As for being a successful person, it's a rather complicated question. It seems to me that a successful person is a person who manages not only to be successful in business, right, or in his profession, but is also the person who does not forget that we have a life. We have a single life.
Do you mean the life balance?
Some sort of balance, including a family, traveling, some kind of hobby, activities, and so on. I mean, for a person, I quite often, by the way, hear the stories, including our niche, where there is a person who is completely immersed in work. He seems to be making good money. We can say that he is very successful when it comes to his career, yes. But at the same time, the person absolutely has no other life. In this sense, this balance is very important. Probably when you live in peace with yourself and when you have a balance in life, and you can say you are satisfied with your life, or maybe even happy, right? Then this would be real success. But unfortunately, you begin to understand it only when you already have enough money to implement, let's say, your dreams, some of your plans and goals.
What is your opinion about such a position? Many people associate trading on financial markets with some other, so to speak, more risky areas of investment. Yes, like betting, like binary options. Why is this happening, and how can you pull this information out of the head of a potential client and show him that the financial market is still a more serious opportunity for making money?
Well, it seems to me that this opinion is probably imposed more, probably by advertising, by marketers who want to manipulate people's minds and opinions. You need to understand that such things like betting, or even binary options, have absolutely nothing to do with financial markets. And trading and investment is about totally different things. So there is a work with some real assets. It's a work with stocks, with currency, you see, including cryptocurrency, right? So we see that cryptocurrency trading is becoming a civilized business in a better way, right? Somewhere in some countries, crypto is regulated legally, you know? So you just need to probably ask for advice from people who are more experienced. So it seems to me that the time when people were interested in binary options have long gone. I mean, to ask for advice in an active way. But nevertheless, sometimes I meet people who ask me a question like this: Gleb, is it possible to make money with binary options? And for such people, I have already recorded a separate video on this topic, where I break down why they will not succeed and why it is not necessary to get involved in binary options at all, right? And from different angles, from the side of the trader, I said this, and from the side of the person who works in the industry, well, this is not trading at all. It's actually a casino. Lucky or not lucky.
Like a very busy person, do you run all your accounts by yourself?
Unfortunately, I physically do not have the ability to manage all of my social networks by myself. So the only social network that, for the most part, is managed by me is Instagram. And of course, I'm managing YouTube also. But the answers to some questions in almost all social networks works with the comments. Although I read all the comments, I literally have no time to answer them. Then video processing and so on. All of these activities are done by my team. The only social network where I still answer all questions by myself is Instagram. And in general, if we take all social networks, I think that Instagram is, well, this is the social network that will probably defeat everything else. But I think I will also have to transfer this social network to outsourcers.
You have a video titled, "Why You Don't Need to Search for a Job in 2019." Do you remember? Well, how did you record this video? You probably remember even more how many negative comments you have under this video. So many negative opinions. Do you read these hating comments, all reviews? How do you react to them?
Listen, any feedback, yes, even negative feedback or positive feedback is good. Again, you need to understand that such videos, you see, there are videos from Slumdog Millionaire channel. I'm trying to draw people's attention, irk them, and I want to make them think a little. Yes, about what they're doing, how they build their life, careers, and so on. My idea is not just to give them a certain offer. Don't do this. Instead, do this. Understand, but make people believe that they are able to make right decisions by themselves. You see, the message of this video is that earlier, to make money, a person really needed to go to work for a salary, and so on. Now, in the modern world, there are so many crazy opportunities to earn decent money without actually going to work there, right? There are so many opportunities for freelancers. There are many people out there who make money via the internet. I'm not talking about some hype-related topics. There are some polls that are allegedly bought with big money. I am talking about real work that a person can do without sitting on a particular workplace. Because probably the most frequent comments under my video, this or the other videos on this channel, are comments like, "It's easy for you here in Moscow to tell us about everything, and I sit here somewhere in the suburbs, like Suzerain or Penza, somewhere else. Here we have a salary of 15,000 rubles. About what sources of high income are you talking and what investments do you mean?" I'm trying to encourage people to open their eyes that, of course, I used to, relatively, also lived in a town like Penza or Suzerain. After all, we come from the regions to Moscow, right? And the same thing, I didn't understand. There were no examples of how you can make money. But there are opportunities. I'm trying to show these opportunities to people that would not be forced to work for 15,000 rubles at a factory. Yes. And at the same time, pay loans taken to somehow support families and so on. So this is a really big problem in our country.
There is the topic for a video, "I want to quit work, but I can't." There is a topic, How to Become Poor. Does your marketing team generate such topics? Or do you come up with these titles by yourself?
In fact, the marketing department that helps me with promoting, recording videos, and so on, they very often scold my titles for videos and say no, they had to be called something different. But once again, I want to emphasize that with such titles, like the topics of my video, I want to irk people, their pride, for the thing they like the most in order to make them think about certain things, right? So you can record a video about, for example, how to become rich, right? But no one really watches such videos. There are thousands of such videos.
How to Become Poor, of course, will get more views.
And how to become poor? Well, it's absolutely clear that a person, no matter if he's rich or poor, it depends first of all, not only on what a person does, right? You see, poverty or wealth is the result. The result of what? The result of actions. And from where do these actions come? Actions come from what we have in our heads. I mean, how a person thinks, how he is, his mindset. How does he solve certain problems and so on? It's a very common story. When he's already in a debt pit, it's already poverty, and a person continues to dig this pit. Often people write to me something like, Gleb, what should I do? I have so many loans and debts. How to get out of this situation? I answer this. First of all, if you're in a pit, stop digging. Stop getting new loans in order to repay old loans, right? And it's better to think how you can increase income, learn how to manage your budget, and so on. Well, I mean, this is the theme for another discussion, but for me, why did I open the second channel? Because ideologically, I wanted to divide my videos. There is a channel about financial markets. There is a channel about related topics, how to become rich, how to become successful, about personal efficacy, time management, and so on. All these things must be separated and not talk about them all on the same channel dedicated to financial markets. Well, actually, I still come up with themes for videos by myself.
Gleb, you have a recorded, very spelled out content about the trust management. You recorded this video about a year ago. What do you think? Are professional managers in demand now? And how to distinguish a professional manager, a trader, from apology for managers, aka scammers, who fraud investors?
Well, again, now in the financial markets, there are really many various scammers. This theme with trust management, well, lucky for me, yes, it gets less attention from traders. Yes, traders want some kind of ready-made solutions when they get a call that tells them, but we have experienced traders who will earn money for you. And people seriously consider such proposals and invest money. But fortunately, there are fewer such proposals, and fewer people left who don't understand this is a classic scam in 90% of cases. So everyone involved in trust management will learn. The broker who gave this offer, yes, the manager who specifically sold it will earn. The trader who worked as a manager will earn. But the chance that investors will also learn is so small, in my opinion, that honestly, you shouldn't even try. And how to find out, how to understand, how to determine, to reveal if a person a fraudster or not. For a non-professional person, for a person who is not from the industry, who doesn't know this thing, well, it will be very difficult for him. Well, let's just say, what are the key criteria? Can you tell? If there is a guarantee of high income, it's immediately no, right? Next, what else? Willingness to work with small amounts of money, meaning you bring at least $5,000 to us and we will even agree to work with small sums and so on. Well, this is complete nonsense. No experienced, successful trader will really do this. So you must understand that if a trader is ready to take $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 for trust management, he is an amateur. This is a beginner who just wants to risk your money. In 99 9/10% of cases, it will end sadly. Not a single trustworthy company that is engaged in real trust management will ever guarantee anything. It will never talk about any super ROI. Just look at large hedge funds, large funds with direct investments, funds who invest in liquid assets. If there is profitability forecast, there is 20-30% per year, and it is already fantastic profitability. I can't remember the number, but Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors on our planet, obviously the most famous investor on our planet, he has a return on his company of 20% per year. About what kind of return of 30% per month is the talk? What are the guarantees?
Gleb, I want to thank you for the time that you found to visit us in Montenegro and answered all my questions.
Thanks for the invitation.
Dear friends, you are with Gleb Zadoya and Alexander Yemilianov. Subscribe to our channel, click on the bell, and see you soon.